Do you also find yourself going through these cycles where you're overwhelmed a little bit? You fix things, you come down, you're like, oh, I need more to do, or I'm looking for something else, I'm looking for that new project. We all go through those cycles, right? And maybe you want to either even them out or have a method for when you're starting to get to that peak and you're starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed of what you can do. Well, I've got something that I use and I want to share that with you today. Hey, I'm Adam with the Productivity Academy. And if you're into this as well as other productivity topics, automation, time management, tools, apps, all that sort of things, go ahead and subscribe. All right. So what I do when I notice that I'm starting to feel this, where I'm like, man, I have got too many things going on, there's two things that I find important to do. One of those is to list out like what's truly important that I'm working on. And maybe the first like substep of that or substep of that is to list out what you're actually working on. A lot of times it can be this like nebulous thing where you're just like, I have too much going on, but do you actually know what you're working on? Which may sound a little silly, but maybe you've just got a lot of projects or you're just working on things and you're feeling scattered. But once you list them down, you're like, nope, I've got that. I'm in control. I've been there too. But on the other hand, it may truly be that you're like, yeah, I am way too scattered. I've got way too many things going on. And listing them down can help you say, okay, here's what I've got. And maybe if you're working at a job, you could list this out and say, hey, this is taking up way more time than I actually have available. Maybe you can talk to your boss, your supervisor, your team, whatever that is. Say, hey, let's look at what we need to focus on. Let's prioritize this. There's no actual way I can complete all of these things in parallel and get them done, to any sort of high quality level. With yourself, if you're self-employed, this is the same thing. But you are responsible for both recognizing this and taking care of it. And again, listing this all out can help you refocus on, okay, what is important? And maybe I put, those top 3 things into my daily work. That's what I need to be doing. The rest of this goes on to kind of a brain dump list or the next items to look at, maybe when you're doing a weekly review next week. But when you want to do something a little bit more I will say quantitative, you can use something like this. Okay, I think this is a really helpful tool that I adapted, that I found years and years ago, and kind of changed and made it work for myself. I called it the Focus Finder. And this is just a way to, again, list those things out. And you can put that on there, just anything you want. You can add rows, click, drag down. There's even a little bit of how to use it in case you get confused. But the main idea is pretty simple. You're just writing down, what are these things that I want to do, either in personal or kind of business? And then you assign a number from 1 to 5. And I found that this is that's why I said quantitative with kind of a little bit of hand waviness, is that you're just forcing yourself to give it a score. It doesn't mean if you give it a 4 out of 5 that it is, absolutely a 4 out of 5. Nobody could ever argue it. You're just giving yourself that time and you're spending that mental effort on, how important do I think this is? And as you go through and do this for several maybe projects or tasks or whatever it might be, you'll find yourself kind of clarifying mentally what is truly more important. So putting a number to it just helps you do that. And the main values are, how excited are you, right? It can be really tough to work on a project you're not excited about. And that's a good one to realize. And then I have 12-week ROI and 24-month ROI. You can change these. The only thing that matters is kind of one is more short-term, more immediate, and one is longer term. And for you, that might be today, and a month from now, it might be 3 months, and 10 years from now, doesn't matter. You can change it to be whatever you want to be, but just consider short-term, long-term. And ROI is not just revenue or money. That could be, something, is it going to bring me contentment? Does it allow me to spend more time with my family? That is whatever it is to you. And again, just scoring that. And then the total value, what we're doing there is, it is basically exponential. So kind of logarithmic, or just in the sense of a 1 to 2, scoring at a 2 instead of a 1 isn't just a factor. You're not just adding 1. It's not that, right? You're multiplying by a factor of 10. It's hugely more important. So a 5 is incredibly more important than a 1 or a 2. And this helps you quickly separate things, where if you're not very excited about it, maybe it's not a short-term good ROI and long-term is, middling ROI, that is going to be blown out of the water by something that is, you're moderately excited about and has a decent ROI in the short and the long term, let alone, something that scores high in all of them. So I highly suggest giving this a shot. The link will be down in the description below. You can grab a copy of this. It's in Google Drive. Just copy it. Use it. If you have any questions or comments about this, or you use it and like it, leave a comment below, and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.